Have you ever walked into a room, seen a woman look at you, and within seconds, you just knew she didn't respect you? Maybe she smiled politely, but her body language told a different story. Maybe she interrupted you mid-sentence, glanced at her phone, or gave that subtle look that says, "You're not worth my time." And in that moment, something inside you shrinks. You start questioning yourself. Am I not good enough? What do women even want? Why do they always fall for the arrogant guy, but ignore the one who's genuine? But what if I told you there's a way to earn a woman's respect instantly, without ever pretending to be someone you're not, without playing the tough guy, and without becoming some cocky alpha male caricature that most YouTubers scream about? Stick around, because this video might just change how you carry yourself forever. See, there's a secret about respect that most men never understand. It's not about dominating anyone. It's about understanding how women's minds are wired, what silent signals you're giving off, and how to command deep respect from the moment you walk into a room, using subtle, almost invisible behaviors that actually work. We're talking about real psychology, not pickup artist gimmicks. In fact, this might just be the most underrated superpower men can develop in the modern world: quiet authority. Think about the guys who walk into a room and suddenly everything shifts. No arrogance, no loud talking, just presence. Think of Keanu Reeves, not Andrew Tate. That's what we're unlocking today. But here's the thing, this journey isn't for everyone. Because to truly earn respect, especially from women who are intelligent, emotionally mature, and independent, you're going to have to unlearn years of conditioning. Society has taught you to be nice, to seek approval, to apologize for taking up space. And ironically, all of that kills respect. Because women don't respect men who constantly try to earn their validation. They respect men who already know their value and behave accordingly. You don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need a six-pack. But you do need one thing: the courage to show up as your highest, most grounded self, consistently. In this video, we're going deep. We'll break down the advanced psychology of instant respect, why your voice, your eye contact, your micro decisions matter more than flashy status symbols. We'll explore shocking research on female attraction that'll make you rethink everything you know about dominance. We'll share real-life examples, mistakes you're probably making every day without realizing it, and the one shift that, when applied, can flip the power dynamic in any interaction within seconds. And in part 2, you'll learn why emotional independence, not brute confidence, is the #1 trait that pulls high-quality women in. Plus, we'll reveal a story of a man who went from being constantly ignored to commanding attention, without changing his looks or income. So if you've ever felt invisible, underestimated, or unsure of how to carry yourself around women who seem out of your league, this is your moment. Stay tuned, because what's coming next could be the most uncomfortable but liberating truth you've ever heard. Let's start by debunking one of the biggest myths that keeps men stuck in the cycle of rejection and disrespect. Being nice doesn't mean being respected. In fact, when you're nice with the underlying motive of being liked, you're sending out signals of insecurity. Women can feel it. Respect doesn't come from being agreeable, it comes from being authentic. Think about it. When was the last time you deeply respected someone just because they were nice? Respect is earned through consistency, emotional strength, and presence. And here's the truth. Women, especially high-value ones, are constantly filtering men for these qualities, often without even realizing they're doing it. So let's break it down. Respect, especially from women, comes from 4 core areas: emotional sovereignty, boundaries, congruence, and value expression. Miss one, and the entire dynamic collapses. Let's unpack them one by one, starting with the most important: emotional sovereignty. Emotional sovereignty means you don't let external validation dictate your internal state. Most men walk around reactive. If a woman ignores their text, they spiral. If she gives them attention, they light up. That's a red flag for most women. Because if your emotions depend on her, she instantly knows she holds the power. Respect dies the moment a woman feels you need her to feel whole. Think about this. Women are biologically wired to seek protection and leadership, not in the physical sense, but in the emotional realm. A man who can remain grounded no matter what, who doesn't flinch in the face of rejection, silence, or chaos, is deeply respected. There's a reason women are drawn to men who seem mysterious. It's not because they're hiding things. It's because they're unshaken. Their emotional weather is not controlled by anyone else. And here's how you start developing that sovereignty. Practice non-reactivity. That doesn't mean being passive, it means being calm. Next time someone disrespects you or ignores you, don't rush to respond. Sit with it, process it, then act, not react. It's that gap between trigger and response where true masculinity is forged. Now let's talk about boundaries, the second pillar. Most men think setting boundaries will push women away. In reality, it's the opposite. Women respect men who protect their time, their energy, and their standards. For example, if a woman is being flaky or constantly late or disrespectful in any way, and you just brush it off to keep the peace, you've just signaled weakness. But if you calmly say, hey, I value my time. If you're not interested, that's okay. But I don't chase, you instantly become 10 times more attractive. Why? Because you're demonstrating self-respect. You're saying, I have standards. I value myself. I don't tolerate behavior that doesn't match my values. That's not being rude, that's being masculine. And here's something few men realize. Women will test your boundaries on purpose. It's not manipulative, it's instinctive. They want to see if you'll fold or stand firm. Failing this test is often why the attraction dies without warning. Third comes congruence. Congruence is the alignment between your words, your body language, your values, and your actions. If you say you're confident, but your posture is slouched and your voice is shaky, you're incongruent. If you say you're ambitious but spend hours scrolling Instagram and avoiding responsibility, again, congruent number. And women are hyper attuned to this. They may not articulate it, but they feel it. And when your energy and your identity don't match, it creates mistrust. Think of congruence as internal integrity. A man who says little but lives fully in line with his values will always be respected over a man who talks big but walks small. If you want instant respect from women, start asking, are my actions aligned with my words? If not, adjust one or the other. And finally, value expression. This is the one most men get wrong. They either overcompensate, flexing cars, status, wealth, or they underexpress, hiding their ambition, suppressing their passions. True value isn't what you tell people. It's what you radiate by how you move through the world. Let's say you're passionate about architecture or tech or storytelling. When you speak about it with grounded excitement, not to impress, but to share, you're expressing value. Women pick up on that passion, and when you own your path without apology or shame, you become magnetic. Even if they don't understand your world, they respect your purpose. Let me give you a story that illustrates this perfectly. A client of mine, let's call him Ryan, was the classic nice guy. Always polite, always available, always agreeable. He was smart, had a great job, but every time he got close to a woman he liked, she'd either friend zone him or disappear. One day I asked him a question that changed everything. When was the last time you told someone no? He couldn't remember. That's how far he'd gone into approval seeking. We worked on his body language, his tonality, and more importantly, his boundaries. Within weeks, he started walking taller, speaking slower, and saying no to things that drained him. He went from being seen as sweet to being seen as solid. And here's the kicker. Within 2 months, the same woman who had ghosted him before came back into his life because he had become a different man. Not a tougher one, a more aligned one. Another truth bomb. Respect isn't earned when you try to impress. It's earned when you express calm confidence under pressure. Imagine a woman challenges your opinion in a heated conversation. Most guys either back down or get defensive. But the man who holds his frame, stays curious, and doesn't need to win, he earns deep respect. Women remember those moments, because in that moment, you're showing leadership, not dominance, but direction. The energy that says, I know who I am, and I don't need to overpower anyone to prove it. This is also why your environment matters. You cannot carry authority if your life is chaotic. Clean your space, organize your thoughts, take ownership of your routines. When your life is in order, your presence becomes powerful. Women sense this instantly. A man who has his inner world handled walks differently, speaks differently, and lives differently. You don't need to prove anything, because your energy says it all. Let's go deeper into one of the most overlooked elements of instant respect, nonverbal communication. According to studies from UCLA, over 93% of communication is nonverbal. Your eye contact, your facial expressions, your tone of voice, even how you breathe, these speak louder than any line you could say. So here are 3 micro shifts that create instant authority and respect. Hold eye contact just 10% longer than usual. Not in a creepy way, but in a grounded, focused way. It signals presence. Slow your speech slightly. People who rush to fill silences are signaling nervous energy. Pausing shows calm and control. Lead with your chest, not your head. Subtle posture changes communicate confidence without words. You'll be amazed how quickly women start responding to you differently when you master these cues. Respect isn't loud, it's subtle. It's in how you occupy space. And speaking of space, learn to be okay with silence. Men who are comfortable with silence are men who are comfortable with themselves. And that is magnetic. Here's something advanced most people never talk about. Women don't respect perfection, they respect growth. If you can own your flaws, your past mistakes, and your current goals with honesty and without shame, you become more trustworthy. It's called vulnerable strength, not oversharing, not trauma dumping, just being real. If a woman asks, "What are you working on right now?" Don't lie. Tell her you're working on getting more disciplined, waking up earlier, cutting distractions. That humility, when paired with purpose, makes you extremely respectable. It shows self-awareness and ambition, 2 qualities every high-value woman seeks. Let me close this section with a warning and a promise. The warning: once you start living like this, authentic, grounded, boundary strong, you will trigger people. Some women will walk away. Some friends will mock you. Some will feel uncomfortable with the new, powerful version of you. Don't shrink. Don't apologize. That's just their fear talking. And here's the promise. The women who do stay, who do lean in, who do admire you, they will be women who see you, respect you, desire you. Not for the mask you wear, but for the man you actually are. So let's bring it home. If you've made it this far, you're not like most men. Most guys hear the word respect, and they think of intimidation, dominance, being loud, or being alpha in some cartoonish way. But now you know the truth. You know that respect, especially from women, is earned not by acting tough, but by being real, by developing emotional control, by setting strong boundaries, by walking in alignment with your values, and by radiating calm confidence that doesn't beg for validation. And the most powerful part? This version of you is already inside you. It's not something you fake, it's something you uncover. The reason so many men fail with women isn't because they're not good enough. It's because they're trying to perform rather than embody. They're focused on what to say, how to act, what lines to use, instead of asking, "Who am I becoming?" Because once you become a man who truly respects himself, women have no choice but to mirror that. Respect is a reflection. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. If you constantly tolerate disrespect, chase approval, or dim your light just to fit in, you're broadcasting a message: I'm not valuable. But when you show up differently, when you speak less but mean more, when you walk with quiet certainty rather than desperate energy, everything changes. Think back on your own life. The men you respected most. What did they all have in common? Were they the loudest in the room? Probably not. Were they overly emotional or reactive? Doubtful. Chances are they were grounded, calm, firm in their decisions, protective of their energy. And often they didn't say much, but when they spoke, people listened. That's the model. That's who you're becoming. And here's the magic. Women pick up on this energy faster than you think. Within seconds of meeting you, a woman is assessing your self-worth, not by your looks or your car or your job, but by how you carry yourself, how you respond to tension, how you treat yourself when no one's watching. Let me give you one final story to drive this home. A guy named Marcus reached out to me a year ago, mid-30s, smart, successful in his career. But every relationship he got into followed the same pattern. He'd start off strong, the woman would be interested, but within weeks she'd start pulling away, getting colder, less respectful, less invested. He was confused. He thought he was doing everything right, and technically he was. He was respectful, communicative, supportive. But he was missing one crucial piece. He had no boundaries. He confused niceness with self-respect. He was available all the time, always adjusting, always giving. And while his intentions were good, he was training these women subconsciously to not value him because he didn't value himself in the right way. He wasn't centered. He wasn't leading the relationship. He was chasing it. So we worked on the core issues: emotional sovereignty, boundary setting, slowing down his communication, reclaiming his time. He stopped over-explaining himself. He started saying no without guilt. He made peace with silence. And most importantly, he began to feel powerful in his own skin. Not flashy, not arrogant, just solid. Within months, everything changed. He met a woman who didn't just like him, she respected him. And for the first time, he felt safe being fully himself. That's the reward. Not just dates, not just attraction, but connection that's built on mutual respect. Now I want to leave you with one final challenge. Starting today, stop chasing respect and start living in a way that commands it. Respect isn't something you beg for. It's something you become. Every decision, every boundary, every time you speak your truth calmly but firmly, you're building the version of you that doesn't need to be loud to be heard. That's the man women respect instantly. And not just women, everyone. Because this journey isn't just about relationships, it's about leadership, fatherhood, brotherhood, business, purpose. It's about who you are when nobody's watching and whether that version of you would make your future self proud. If this video hit you hard, if it woke something up in you, don't let this be the last step. Keep going. Start journaling your thoughts. Reflect on how you've been showing up. Audit your boundaries. Make one small change in your body language. Speak one uncomfortable truth you've been avoiding. This is where the real work begins. And I promise you this: the more grounded you become, the more the world responds. Women don't need you to be a superhero. They just need you to be real, to be steady, to be a man who can stand still in a storm and say, "I've got this." If this message spoke to you, I want you to do three things right now. First, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm this video mattered, and it helps more men break free from the lies they've been sold about respect. Second, subscribe to this channel because we're just getting started. Every week, I'm dropping content like this based on real psychology, real experiences, and real transformation. So you can become the kind of man who not only attracts respect, but embodies it. And third, drop a comment below and tell me, what's one boundary you need to set right now in your life? I read every single one. And who knows, your comment might be the spark that inspires someone else to finally stand up for themselves. And if you want to go deeper, I've put together an exclusive free guide, 7 Traits of Men Women Respect Instantly. You can grab it in the description below. No fluff, no games, just powerful shifts you can apply immediately. Because this journey doesn't end here. You've just started the most important transformation of your life, the shift from external approval to internal power. So go out there, walk slow, speak calmly, hold eye contact, set boundaries, lead yourself. And remember, you don't have to act tough to be respected. You just have to be true.